It says like 1950s. I need like a tobacco pipe. Like I don't have it.
Oh
I've got
yeah,
another kind of pipe.
yeah.
But it's not quite as distinguished as a
I wouldn't even.
like a Sherlock style tobacco pipe, and
I
like
want
one
to
of
get
the
put some film.
I
I
don't
would
know.
say
Like
I
like
want to
I need
get
a
put some
suit too.
frame effects. You put
I
some
need like a
film frame
suit.
effects
Wait, what's
to the
that?
black and white.
It'd be cool to
Put
have
some
like
like
one
film
color.
grand effects. Had that
Yeah, I
old
see what
timey
you're saying.
look while you talk.
It'd be cool to have some color. So like I don't know, like green or red would be the only like black, white, and red. But it's not like artificial red. It's just anything that's red would be red.
Mm,
I got to
that's what
figure
I'm
out how to
saying.
do that in settings. I haven't figured that out yet. But anyway, welcome to 2A Taco Tuesday, boys and girls. I hope everyone out there is doing well tonight. We've got a couple of subjects pulled up to talk about. We've got some show and tell, actually, if Ohio wants to turn on his camera at some point. He got a new toy, so that's kind of cool. We'll critique his build. We'll make fun of his choices and make him question his Honda
Yeah,
Noir. I like it.
just a little shaming.
Yeah, just question his sexuality is really what we want by the end of it. But anyway, I hope everybody out there is doing well tonight. 2A Taco Tuesday is a chat where we get together and actually talk about guns. It doesn't always end up that way. Sometimes we start trying to talk about guns and then end up talking about the New World Order and screaming how they're all pedophiles the whole fucking night. Just, it depends on how it goes. But
Yeah,
yeah,
pretty much.
it's what we try to do anyway. But yeah, Ohio got a new gun. Ohio, are you here? There is no Ohio, only Zool.
Ohio's getting beat up by his fiance.
And sucked off.
I'm
Are
using
you
that for
jealous?
everything now.
Are you jealous because you don't have a fucking AR-15? Yeah, that's a yes. You just don't even say anything. You just sigh. That's fucking. What you need to do is move, Leo. Is there any way you can get to a free state?
Or how about everybody move here and we can fight?
Okay, well, so you guys just changed the laws in Chicago and Illinois about assault weapons, right? You passed your assault
Right.
weapons ban, and you've got your fucking like you can no longer buy things, and you've got your registration coming up and all that stuff. So let's say after registration is done and all those laws have gone into effect and yada yada yada. And I'm like, bro, the cost of housing in Colorado is getting insane. And I want to move to Illinois because I've got friends there and I've got family there or whatever, right? And I want to move to Illinois. But I also have a couple of these, right? Got a couple of these bad boys, and I want to take them with me. How does that work?
I think if you already bought it, you probably just got to register it.
So you got to register it as you're moving in? Or
Maybe
do you have like a certain period of time to register it? What happens if you're not if it's in that period of
That's the
time and you
problem. We have no idea. There is no answer. That's why it's in the courts right now because it's too vague. There's no answer for anything. They don't even know. They wrote the laws and stuff, but they didn't think anything through. So there's literally a case going on right now in the courts on vagueness because they
right.
don't. You can ask them thousands of questions. They won't have an answer. They don't even know.
see
Nobody knows.
like that seems like it's a unconstitutional thing for you to be able to buy something in one state and now you can move to another state, but you can't have the thing that you bought.
That's why you got stuff being overturned, like Oregon's BM 114.
Bowel movement 114.
It was a ballot measure. It was bought and paid for by
Sorry.
Bloomberg and Giffords.
I thought that's what BM stood for, or Bill
Yeah,
Murray.
it should. Yeah.
Hell,
What up,
and for
Negro?
Illinois, what up? Hell, and for Illinois, they might just say just just turn them in. Yeah, like you bought those rifles from out of state. Yeah, you have to turn those in.
I wish I
He
could buy some
crossed
rifles
state
out of state.
lines with an AR-15. Everybody, he crossed
Shit,
state lines with an AR-15.
I'm about to start crossing state lines tomorrow.
With an AR-15.
I thought of, should I bring a gun with me? I thought about it.
I usually, unless I'm
Last
like,
time I,
okay,
last time
there
I
was
did bring
one
my
point
AR.
where I was driving out to California and then flying back, and in that case, bringing a gun with you doesn't work because you have to fly back. But if you're like driving out there and driving back, like fuck it, dude, bring a gun.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm driving. I mean, last time I went, I did bring my AR. I was like, I don't know, but it's like, I guess I'm just going like in and out of some places. It was like,
I like this one. It's nice and light. It's got the KE arms lower on it. So it's
plus,
all
I don't think I'm.
polymer.
Oh, and here's
Plus-
another big thing
Plus,
too.
I'm not think I'm planning to go shooting anyway. I thought about it. I was like,
Oh, and
Doing
here's
it.
another big thing too. Before you even say if you wanted to register your weapon, let's say if you did, if you don't got a FOID card within that time you notify them, oh, it's a wrap.
oh yeah, I
You're
forgot you
going
got
to
that
jail.
FOID card.
What is a FOID card?
Unconstitutional.
Yeah,
Firearms firearm owner something.
yeah, identification.
Yeah, it's like their
Firearms
little thing,
identification.
except ours is a safety firearms course thing.
Yeah.
Which, oh yeah, mine is about to be expired. Well, I think near my birthday this year.
It
I mean,
means-
2024. Wait, let me check. I got it right here in my wallet.
Right. The FOID card just allows you to actually buy it and to keep it in your home or in the car. And that's it. Then you need the separate one, for
Yep.
carrying.
2024. Near the summer. Like 3 days next to my birthday.
Oh shit. We'll grab that in 1 second.
So I need to
Daniel
get
dropped in
another
$10. Says walked away from a head-on wreck about 2 hours ago. Nothing left of either truck. Basically, not my fault, and everyone is okay.
That's
Also,
good.
why Honda looking all gay? I mean gray.
Shit. One of my coworkers was just talking about somebody who died near here just today. I guess a mom and her son. His son was like maybe in her 20s. They went to go get like food and stuff, like grocery shopping, just walking, and some cars collision and rammed right into him.
The lucky Daniel made it out safe and his sack didn't get ripped off.
Yeah, dude. Like, it's kind of how life is, man. It's insane how quickly things can go from normal to now that you'll never talk to that person again.
Yep.
You know, it's like that person that meant everything to you in your life, who said goodbye when they left to go to the store, and you forgot to say I love you. That was your last chance. Like that happens all the fucking time, dude.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or sometimes
you had
you
an
guy
argument
you
that
ain't seen in a
morning.
long time.
Or you had an argument that morning and you left out mad.
Or you said I love you and everything was great. And then you never get to say that to them again.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane, dude. And that shit happens all the fucking time, man. Just be careful out there, guys. Be careful out there.
Oh,
Especially
yeah,
if you're like riding motorcycles or doing whatever. Like, I was watching a video, which I can't show on YouTube, where a guy was just riding along and all of a sudden the fucking lady in front of him decided to fucking pull a U-turn and did it at a time when it was unavoidable for him to, like, maybe he could have slowed down because there was a car going the opposite direction that had slowed down. Like, what are you doing? But that's the only thing he could have done. Like, he didn't do anything wrong. And just got taken the fuck out, bro. Daniel says he's sore as fuck, though. I believe it, man. How fast were you guys going? What happened? Like, head on and both trucks are gone? That usually means you're both going, like, at least 30, 40, something like that. But I don't know. That's insane, dude. I'm glad you're okay. Tacos and death. Shit.
Oh shit! I'm trying to look at some deals. There weren't any good deals for Black Friday getting guns over there. I mean, ammo and the mags.
I mean, I usually, what I do is I sign up for all the, like, the places that I buy from that have good deals, like Palmetto or whatever. I'll sign up for their fucking email lists. So when they do have deals, you get emails. And then, like, they'll tell you what their deals are. And if you're looking for something, you just,
Well, yeah,
It'll pop
online
up.
it does, but mind you, I'm going to a different state, so it's kind of a little tricky. So it's like, yeah.
Well, you need to buy some magazines, I would think, right? Like, you can't probably
Yeah,
buy most things, but you can get magazines, like a
Yeah,
motherfucker.
magazines and ammo. I mean, you can never have too many.
Oh, and you guys have background checks on ammo now, don't you?
Yep, same here too.
I mean, but there's, I don't know, because you never know who's listening to these. There are ways to get around it. But yeah.
Damn, dude.
Well, we have to show our voice.
But surprisingly, ammo has never been a problem. In fact, sometimes it's kind of cheaper here. When I was out there in Texas, it looked like they never, the magazines were cheap. But except for when
Daniel
it's
says
pistols,
Daniel says I was doing 60. He was doing like 40 or 50. Bro.
that happens even at 60.
Like, if it's a head-on and you're going 60 and he's going 40 or 50, it means you're going from 60 to 0. Pretty much. Damn, bro. Glad you're okay. That's insane. That's the thing about those Texas roads. That's the other thing, dude. Texas has a bunch of dangerous ass roads because
Yep.
they're one lane each way and the speed limit's like 65. So, like, one person drifts over a little bit over the yellow line, the other person's not paying attention. Boom, head on, like, family's dead,
And y'all got a lot of bad, tough roads out there. They fixing.
The one that I thought, okay, so, like, we drove out to Tulsa, right? And, like, the hotel, the highway outside of Tulsa had, like, these little things in the median, right? So, like, it's 2 lanes going each way. And in the median, it was like a ramp. So, like, it's like flat, and then a little ramp. So if you're not paying attention and you get your left tire in the fucking, like, the median spot, it'll ramp your fucking car and flip you over. Like, I don't know what kind of design. I don't know, bro. Like, I didn't see anyone do it, but I could see it happening. And it made me nervous driving by it.
Yeah, to Butch's comment, I agree on that statement. Shoot, my girl's not even a good driver. Yeah, she's from Texas. I was like, oh, let me drive.
Dude, Matt's not a good driver. Like, he's good at not dying, I guess. But, like, when he came out to Colorado, there was some snow on the ground, and he kept doing this thing where it's like, okay, we gotta turn right up here at the end of, like, in like 100 yards, right? So it's coming up pretty quick, and it's dry right now underneath us, and he's just gassing it. And then up there where the turn is, it's icy, and that's where he wants to brake. It's like, no. I know you're from Texas and you don't know what ice looks like, but when you're on ice, you can't be braking too hard. You can brake a little bit, but you can't brake like you're braking on dry ground because you're gonna. And sure enough, like, thankfully we didn't get into an accident, but like we slid into fucking like across 2 lanes of traffic when we were turning right, because he couldn't slow down. I'm like, dude.
So basically, when you're on ice, just don't do no sharp turns or sharp braking, all that stuff.
Well, it's difficult because it's like a lot of the road doesn't have any ice on it at all. So you can drive on the regular parts of the road regular. But then there's certain spots where it's patches of ice. So you'd be like driving along regular and then it's ice. And if you're accelerating on the regular part and trying to brake on the ice, you're doing it fucking wrong. That's the point. I know you're from LA, so you don't know this shit either, dude. Like, Jesus.
Nope.
Anyway. So we got a couple of stories pulled up on the Twitter. On the Twitter, yeah.
Yeah.
So we shall show you the Twitter, and we shall do the chat, and everything will be okay. Okay, so offline on a different thing, I was having a discussion with someone about, and I know this is a gun chat, but we're going to talk about 9/11 real fucking quick. I'm sorry. We're going to talk about 9/11 for like 2 minutes. They were talking about like, oh, well, the airplanes didn't hit the buildings because when the planes hit the buildings, it just exploded into and there was nothing left because the plane hit the building and it vaporized, and that's not what would happen because it's like, okay, bitch. That's the first time we've ever seen that happen, really. When an airplane, which is made out of like aluminum and shit for the most part, going as fast as it can possibly go, which I think the planes that hit the towers on 9/11 in New York City were going like 500 or 600 miles an hour, right? So there's a video that I just found of a F-4 Phantom slamming into a slab of concrete at 500 miles an hour in like high def slow-mo. And I think this kind of puts to rest once and for all whether or not planes actually hit the buildings on 9/11. Because I don't think, like, whatever conspiracy theory you believe in, I think that planes actually hit the fucking buildings because we saw it happen. But observe. That's not the slow-mo. Here you go. Look, that's basically what happened on 9/11, except for it wasn't a fucking solid concrete. It was like windows and shit that it went through, and it wasn't this is a much smaller jet, obviously,
Right.
but the thing just gets eaten away, and there's nothing left.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane, though.
Right. Because it has to be lightweight, and it's not an armored tank, so I guess it would like disintegrate.
Well,
Once
there's
it
parts
hits-
of it that are like the motor has steel and titanium
Right.
components in it, right? But like the wings, the fuselage, the tail, like the pretty much everything that
Yeah, everything.
it's made out of is just aluminum, like, and will disintegrate into nothing, as
Hey.
shown here.
Did the black box ever survive? Dude, from 9/11? I think I never heard of it.
Well, supposedly they have 2 of the black boxes, but not all of them. And yeah, there were some black box stuff that was found, but they didn't find all of them, and they should always find all of them because they have GPS locators and they're made out of like basically materials that will not get fucking destroyed no matter what happens. But anyway, saying jet fuel was left behind. Yeah, I mean, basically that was what was left behind, and that's like the wings. That's what they're full of is jet fuel. It was because of all the vodka. Yep, that's what it was. Daniel says, Leo, why the boxes got to be black though, and in the back of the plane?
Because those are the only boxes that are tough. Not those wimpy white boxes. They never last.
Damn, Daniel. I'm glad you're okay, man. I'm glad you didn't die. That's fucking insane what happened. It does happen, though. Okay, I saw this and I thought, okay, it's not a gun chat, but again, we can talk about this for a minute. To all the liberals who've been calling President Trump Hitler for the past 4 years, Trump never censored free speech. You did. Trump never used the media to silence his political opponents. You did. Trump never threatened to take people's guns. That's
Well,
technically, I mean,
yeah.
you did. Trump never threatened to put people who disagreed with him politically into re-education camps. You did. You might want to take a good look in the mirror. Honestly, dude, like that's
great.
everything there but the gun thing. Maybe they could reword that. Like 'cause he
Right.
kind of said take the guns first. He did say that. I mean,
Yeah.
But yeah, bro,
But
they did
he
put
wasn't trying to ban nothing though. He didn't. He said something, but who cares about what someone says? We're adults here.
Well, he did ban something,
What did
even
he
though
ban?
it's small.
You know,
The
he
bump
encouraged
stock.
red
really
flag
taking
laws.
guns from anybody.
He did encourage red flag laws, and he did fucking use the ATF to go after pistol braces.
Not pistol braces, bump stocks.
Oh, bump stock. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
I mean-
and he opened up the door for that shit in the future.
Mhm.
So I
But
don't know.
never-
Again,
never
Trump's
tried
not
to take
perfect,
any
man.
guns.
Trump's not perfect. You got to call balls and strikes, and when he fucks up, you got to like say, "Hey, man, you fucked up here," and hopefully, if you do that, and he hears the people say that, he won't do it again. You know, and I think perhaps he learned his lesson on going after anything Second Amendment related because like it backfired on him, and he lost quite a bit of supporters over it.
That's when he kind of lost me. When he said all that.
Here's the Capitol Police being violent. They basically like say, "Hey, we're gonna shoot people with rubber bullets like this." I don't even know if I can show that on YouTube.
Jeez.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't show that on YouTube. They're throwing.
I mean, it's news. That's news. No, it's worse than 9/11 apparently. So.
Well, it just goes to show you who were the majority of the people who were being violent at the Capitol, and it turns out it's the Capitol Police. That's true, but maybe some of the violence that happened back towards them was a result of these actions because it was unprovoked. They shot rubber bullets into a peaceful
Maybe.
crowd. They were peaceful at that point, like no one was doing anything, and they're just like, "Okay, time to fucking throw flashbangs." Daniel says, seat belts hurt like a motherfucker, and I think my whole chest is going to be purple tomorrow. Jesus, bro.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're gonna feel it in the morning. Have those pain pills ready. And some cream.
TC says, Trump called for the firing of host Megyn Kelly, who famously clashed with him on numerous occasions, as well as commentator Karl Rove, who he said Fox News should not have on air. Okay. Here's the difference, TC.
Yeah, it's a giant difference.
It's him saying like you're a piece of shit and you should be fired. Like that has no bearing. That has no real effect. You don't have any power behind it. Versus like, I don't know, using the power of the government to jail people who disagree with you.
Yeah.
There's a pretty big difference between what Trump is supposedly done, but to silence the fucking the media, and he never silenced anybody. If you actually look at it, who did he actually silence? Calling for someone to be fired is not silencing them.
I was gonna say one of the last, well-known presidents that did put people in jail, giving them like his opinion, was Abe Lincoln. But what was going on during that time?
I mean, you know what? Kind of silencing them. If they are on air personality and you call for their firing, it's almost kind of like you're silencing them.
Oh, and he says he tried to jail Hillary. No, he threatened to. Did he actually use the power of the government to go after her, or
Surprised that he
hold
didn't.
on, or did when he get into fucking office, he said, you know what? I'm going to let bygones be bygones, and I'm going to fucking just run my presidency because I'm not going to be like that. Because that's exactly what he did, dude. So you can point to things, but you're wrong. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that did piss people off too, because they were promising they thought he was going to jail her. He didn't.
Daniel says Megyn Kelly has also endorsed Trump for 2024. Yeah, because he's such a fascist. And she got fired too, right? But her getting fired had nothing to do with Trump. It had nothing to do with Trump because he didn't have the power to fire her. And it's not like Fox News would have fired her based upon Trump saying so anyway. So, anyway. The children of Nashville were murdered because they were white Christians. The left-wing shooter's manifesto mimics Joe Biden's hateful rhetoric. The FBI knows that, and that's why they prevented the manifesto from coming out. And that's it, dude. Like, a lot of these people who were on the left, who were brainwashed by this leftist ideology, are the ones who are getting ready to fucking do like fucking crazy things. And I think let's tie this back into guns, right? Why are leftists so against guns? And I have a theory. The theory is that they know that if they had this in their hands, right? If they had this in their hands and you were politically against them, or if you cut them off in traffic, or you made too much noise as a neighbor, or whatever it is that triggers them, they might not be able to control themselves from going out and using it.
Yeah.
And so they then, and this is my theory, because of that self-awareness that they wouldn't be able to have that kind of self-control, they project that on other people. And they say, well, if I couldn't control myself, if I had this weapon of war, then neither could you. And you're going to use that to kill people. So if you have one of these, you're dangerous. I think that's what it is.
I think it's a little bit more to it. I think they like guns. They love guns, but only in a way to where they're subservient. So they only want the people in control to have guns so that other free people around them can't have any freedom or like be able to not be controlled because they have guns.
Well,
they like to be controlled. So it's like, I want to be controlled, so you need to be controlled. You need to turn in your guns so the government can have every aspect of control of your life.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
people,
they're soldiers.
Well, I have people personally tell me that they don't trust themselves with guns. Like if they had a gun, like they wouldn't trust themselves with it.
I think that's it, dude. I think that's a big part of it is like, I wouldn't trust myself with a gun because I get pissed off enough to where if I had a gun, I would use it. Yep. And so therefore you shouldn't have a gun because I can't control myself.
You're right on that one, but I think that's not just the only reason. I've heard this one come around too many a times. Some people feel like that all life is precious type thing. Like, oh, I don't want to take another life, or I feel like whatever when it comes to using a gun and stuff.
Yeah,
I had one person tell me that too. Like they couldn't do it. That's why.
I think
but the rest was like they would
shoot thing is a cop out. I think that's just they're saying your life isn't precious. I think it's an opposite. I think it's like, what is it called? An oxymoron. If all life is precious, then why wouldn't you want me to be able to kill someone that's trying to kill my kids?
Well, they feel like, okay, that's that old saying. Well, and this is where I really challenge people. I'm curious what they think. They feel like, do you think there's a good reason to use violence? It's like that type of situation. Like some people feel like, oh, doing an act or doing like it's like saying killing is wrong. Like they say completely 100% killing is wrong. I'm on the notion I don't think so, because there's certain reasons when you have to do that. But
yeah,
dude, even the Bible, bro, even the Bible makes a distinction between murder and justified killing, right?
Right.
Like there's a Hebrew word for murder, and there's a different Hebrew word for justified killing. And like there's the 10 Commandments, right? It doesn't say thou shalt not justify kill people. It says thou shalt not murder. And there's a huge difference. There is obvious there's a huge difference. And that's why we have, the court system to be able to justify a shooting or whatever it is, or exonerate someone in a self-defense situation, and also to convict someone who did a murder. And there's, like, there's law. I don't know what's the word. There's lawful definitional differences between the two, and that's why you have to go to court. Sometimes they can determine that shit before and not even charge you. And I think with like Kyle Rittenhouse, for instance, they should have looked at that situation and not tried to charge him with murder, but they did. And because they tried to overcharge him, he got off without anything. But now he's, I mean, that's a whole complicated thing, but he shouldn't have been charged with that. And I think the DAs in this country often overstep their bounds.
Yeah, you should challenge some people. You should ask them, what if somebody's trying to kill or rape your kid or something? Ask them, okay, what about then? You just
There are pacifists out there
because their life is precious. You're just gonna let them, hurt your kids. You should ask them.
There are pacifists out there who would say, I would rather let the fucking murderer murder me and the kid than do anything about it. And to those people, like, okay.
That is nuts.
That is nuts.
I think I heard a retired general say the same thing on one of those news shows. He was like, well, I lived most of my life, so I'm already happy. If someone breaks into my home and takes me, well, I lived a good life. I'm like, what? What the fuck?
I've heard that before. People that's like 70 and plus. People that's just ready to go. They just like, I'm old, I lived. I'm bored now, ready to go. That's a difference from what the other people were saying.
Yeah, but he wasn't old and shriveled. He was just like, well, I lived my life, so
I mean, he was probably good. Like 70 though. He was probably like a good for himself for being like 70 years old.
Okay, here's the argument. Here's the question. You've got a 30-round magazine, right? There's 30 gangbangers with baseball bats coming at you. Are you justified in killing all 30 of them?
Yeah, you are.
Yep.
Unless
and
they
say yes.
Away.
Why are they coming at you with baseball bats, bro? Like, fuck you. But the other people would say, well, there's 30 of them and one of you. So to make the maximum amount of life, you should just let them kill you. Like, that would be their argument, I think.
Yeah, that would definitely been their argument.
But yeah, I'm like, man, I've got an extra magazine if there's more of them.
They were all like New York gangs dressed in the baseball uniforms.
Like the Furies.
Like that one movie.
The Furies, that's what they're called. From, yeah.
Wait, what was
Warriors.
it?
The
Warriors. Yeah, but
no,
the gang was called the Furies.
Oh, the Furies.
The Furies.
Yeah.
But no, I was gonna say you could do the Joe Biden method. Yeah, fire 2 blasts in the sky, scare them away.
Right.
Somebody actually did that, by
Ironically.
the way, and that guy got arrested.
Yeah, ironically,
remember
that's illegal to do. You can't just shoot fucking bullets into the sky.
No,
I got off on that.
even did that
Joe
once.
Biden told me to do that. Joe Biden told me to do it. I'd have sent a letter to him. You got me arrested. It's your fault, and filed a lawsuit against Joe Biden.
Oh, that one guy in the New York. That one guy in the New York subway who shot that warning shot.
Yeah.
John
Yeah, he got arrested too.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a shotgun.
Like, yeah, it wasn't a shotgun, but like, dude, what? It's enough information out here now for you to go online and see that a warning shot is a bad idea, period.
Well, here's the thing, Leo. How many people actually use the internet for what its purpose and actually look up stuff like that?
Yeah, besides.
At this
I would
point,
say,
there's
honestly,
no excuse. At this point, there's no excuse.
Pulling a gun out,
I know.
in my experience, is like, well, let me back up. I've never just shot a fucking gun to intimidate somebody, but I have pulled a gun out to be like, motherfucker, like,
Yeah,
no.
Done that like 18 times.
And it usually fucking works pretty fucking quick. Usually they're like, oh, never mind, sorry, you have a handgun and I was being a dick. You're right, I'm wrong, goodbye.
Right.
And I haven't done it 18 times. I think I've done it twice. Thankfully, I don't live in fucking goddamn Chicago. Jesus Christ, man. How do you guys live there?
I had 4 guys pull out pistols on me, and I grabbed my AR-15 and came back out. It's like, okay, now it's an even fight. So who want to go first? And they all left.
Jesus, bro.
I don't know, shit, you just,
Like that's hardcore. That's badass.
That was at work.
That's badass. But Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
bro.
shit, mind you, I'm from California and from the hood, so I didn't even have to deal with any time pulling the guns drawn. Maybe almost close to once, but I know how to talk the situation. The one time my RPG dialogue skills worked.
I don't know. Saying how do you live in Chicago is like saying how did you survive Vietnam? Like, I don't know. Right. I got lucky, I guess. Getting lucky. So
I heard a statistic, and I think it was Chicago, about like kids in Chicago had, if you grew up in the Chicago school system, grew up there and everything, you have as much of a chance of getting out alive as did the U.S. soldiers during Vietnam. Because, like, while there was, 30,000, 37,000 U.S. soldiers who died during Vietnam, there were, there was millions of dudes who went over there. So, the chances of you dying were still pretty fucking low. But it's roughly equivalent to growing up in Chicago.
in the span of the 10 years, was it? How long did Vietnam last? About 8.
That's a good question.
I guess that's what was going on.
Uh, 55 to 75, 20 fucking years.
Damn.
So
Well,
that
the actual combat.
Yeah, it was
I
like
thought
the
it was 10.
60s till the 70s.
Yeah.
I mean, how long were we in Afghanistan? How long were we in Iraq? Same fucking kind of answer, bro.
Yeah.
Like, all these wars are just like, hey, military-industrial complex has a fucking 20-year paycheck coming. Booyah.
Shit, if we would have got involved in Ukraine, I can imagine how long that fucking would be.
There was actually a lot of guys killed in Vietnam because some dumbass senator decided to fuck with the powder that was used in the bullets and tried to cost-cutting measures. And it actually caused a lot of people to get killed because they had rifles jamming with the first round.
Yeah, that was during the earlier parts of the war, 'cause, when they were first messing around with the AR platform.
Yeah, the M16.
Ghost Shadow says, I don't trust cops with guns. I've seen them at the range. Imagine totally missing the target at 7 yards with 50% of the shots. That is what I've seen cops do.
I've seen
Actually,
that happen too.
When I was in LA last, my buddy is friends with a LA correctional officer guy. So he's basically a Los Angeles cop, but he just works for the fucking jails, And that dude sucked at shooting so fucking bad. It was bad watching, bro.
I don't know. It's crazy because whenever they
Wait,
shoot at us,
didn't your friend have to do a recall too? Does he get retested for shooting? Because I know a lot of them do.
I don't know, bro. I don't know what they have to do.
Yeah. I know the guns.
They shoot at us. They hit us just fine.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's got a cussionary job, so he ain't got to deal with a lot of problems.
Well, I know at the gun shop I go to, there's a certain point where the target has to be out, and everybody has to be out across the first light inside the shooting range. The target has to be there, and the range officer said that a lot of times, a lot of the cops will try to bring in the target closer from beyond the light. They always catch them doing it.
I don't know why you wouldn't just shoot more. It's my job to go police the streets, and maybe I'm going to have to protect my own life by shooting someone someday. So therefore, in my opinion, it would behoove me to be the best shot, the most proficient with my weapon that I can possibly be. That way, if and when I do actually have to use it, I know exactly where I'm putting those bullets. I know exactly how long it takes me to draw and everything, I've just got it down.
Well,
Rather than being there was some, it was in Denver. They had a police shootout in Denver where the police shot 170 bullets, missed the guy that they were shooting at, and injured 6 bystanders.
I was tell it to you like this. Think of it this way, because even when it relates to my job, there's some people that takes it seriously more as a job, and some people that take it like a fucking paycheck. You know, it's like with anything.
Superbad says Instagram is clamping down on pro-gun, different political views, conspiracy pages, cigar and alcohol pages, but pushing nude and weed pages. Fuck Instagram, dude. I never really okay, I know people like to fucking post pictures on Instagram or whatever. It's like a photography kind of site or whatever. I never really fucking cared about Instagram. I have an Instagram. I think I've used it 5 times to post something in my life. Like, I don't fucking care. I mean, and I know people do, and that's fine for them. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, like, in my as far as my wheelhouse is concerned, it doesn't really affect things, I guess.
They barely use it to post pictures anymore. They just use it just as they do with TikTok, right? They just post the short videos. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's the only thing I had as far as, because I don't go to TikTok, you know, for that reason, you know, because you know how the site is run and stuff. But yeah, the only stuff I only look at there is like pictures, you know, funny stuff, titties, barely, you know, some gun channels and artwork, you know, stuff like that.
I don't know, man. You guys ever watch like a bunch of YouTube shorts and you feel fucking annoyed by everything for some reason? Like, it gets to me after a while. And then I just have to like fucking like go outside and see some fucking sunshine, like listen to some birds for a while.
No, I'm surprised how much the shorts hit a lot of different people, because right now where I work at, we deal with these people. They're pretty much called SOs, sheriff security people, and you know they're like security guards that work for the, you know, police department. Well, sheriff department, but you know, call it along with the same. But I'm surprised he's all up in watching the shorts too. So I'm like, I thought it was just like more of young people that do, but no, everybody's caught up in those shorts.
I was just watching some YouTube shorts before I got on here.
Okay, but here's the thing though. Everyone's like, "Oh, E Honda, you're a YouTube creator, so what you should do, because you're a YouTube creator, is make a whole bunch of shorts. And that way people will see your videos." And maybe you're right. Yeah. But I ask you this. How many times have you been watching YouTube shorts and you're like, "You know what? I'm going to go to this guy's channel and I'm going to subscribe and I'm going to like see what else he's up to"?
You know what? I think
I have.
I got there a couple of times.
Yeah, it happens, but it's not very often.
Yeah. No,
the majority of people are like, "Oh, that was a cool video. Next," and then they never fucking think about you again.
No, see, the thing that gets me is like, okay, if it was IG, I could save it. But when it comes to freaking YouTube, the shit that pissed me off is like, oh, I can't save the short. And sometimes they make the shorts like, let's say if it was a cooking recipe, right? Oh, they did it in a short, and I'm like, oh, I can't save it or do nothing to, you know, find it. And it's like, damn.
I don't know. Maybe I should do like clips from the show or something, but it's a lot of work.
Right. A lot of work. Or
you gotta do some editing in YouTube.
What are you gonna do?
Honestly, Honda, if you're gonna do clips from the show, you could probably have people that are watching the show do clips while they're watching, and then send the link that they clipped to your Discord, and then you can just filter through them right there.
That's not a bad idea. If there was a way to make it easier for me so that like people who watch the show are like, "Bro, here's that rant that you did," or whatever, you know, that would be nice.
Yeah, then you got your audience doing the work for you.
What's up, Barbecue? How you doing, man?
Not too bad, you. It's been a little while.
Yeah, pretty all right, you know.
Very nice.
Still living, still breathing, still here on this earth.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah, man. Although I feel like we're closer and closer to the edge of the I don't know, the cliff, the abyss, whatever it is that's where we're all headed for as a country.
I'm just waiting for a good earthquake.
Or like a meteor or something. That way it would be like,
that'd be awesome.
That's what fucking did it, you know?
Yep.
Ooh, a meteor.
Yeah, kind of like that one.
Space.
Beetlejuice goes supernova.
Maybe you got some aliens on it with some tough skin.
The crazy thing is, if the sun went supernova right now, we wouldn't know for like 9 minutes.
Yep.
It would probably blow us up like hours later or whatever, but like we wouldn't even see the light from the
The fucking radiation
Right.
will kill us.
yeah.
Everybody I think like everybody would be like, is it getting hot to you? I think that'd be like everybody last words. Like, man,
I mean,
like, is it getting hot in here?
Fortunately,
Take
the
off
sun
all
can't
our
go
clothes?
supernova. It's not the right size, but if it did, I mean, by the time we actually realized it would just vaporize the planet.
It could go
it'd be a
nova
red
potentially. Like if somehow Jupiter went into like a close orbit and the sun started sucking off Jupiter. I know that sounds bad. And like, you know, it would get like enough matter potentially, and this usually happens with white dwarfs with a fucking neighbor by them. But we could pretend it would happen with the sun.
Yeah, I mean, let's say, of course. Although, I mean, the idea of the sun sucking off a Greek or the ultimate Greek god, that's kind of funny in itself.
Anyway, Ghost Shadow says my icon is the range that I take a moose. What? My icon is the range that I take. I read that correctly. So there's a moose in the picture. So you're at the range and a moose walks up to you? Is that what happened? I'm trying to figure out what this means. I'm sorry,
I think
man.
he's saying when he's hunting moose, that's the range he takes it at.
Oh. Oh, that does make sense. Thank you. All right, well, there's this. Democrat friend of Pete Buttigieg, Mayor Wojan, was just sentenced to 30 years in prison for possession and distribution of child porn. Party of pedophilia.
Wow. He must have had a shit ton if they gave him 30 years.
Yeah, that dude had all the porn. And it looks like Buttigieg looks at it too. Doesn't it look like Buttigieg is like...
Yeah, they was looking at it together. They was in there subverting each other.
Like he's seen it before. He knows what it is. He's seen all of the evidence. He's poured over it for years.
So
yeah, one of those stories said it was over 500 victims involved.
Damn.
Jesus.
I noticed in the trend a lot of them getting caught with some child material.
There was also the one the other day. It was one of the journalist guys behind Pizzagate who was trying to debunk it, who was actually busted for a shitload of child porn too.
Right. The guy who debunked Pizzagate just got arrested for having child porn. So the guy who like went on his fucking I don't know, he was some journalist, right? It was a journalist who like wrote the article that debunked Pizzagate. Turns out he's a fucking pedophile. Isn't that fucking weird how that always happens?
Wow.
Weird. It's just weird.
So I've got to ask, what the hell is Pizzagate?
So
you can just give me like a really brief synopsis. Sorry.
It was correct me if I'm wrong here because it's been a while, but it was a online like terminology thing that pedophiles would use in order to like fucking talk about having sex with children or whatever, or like what kind is it? Like what's the toppings on the pizza? So if it's like a cheese pizza, it's like one kind of thing. But if it's like a pepperoni or if it has fucking anchovies on it or something, it means something else. And then there was this place called Comet Pizza in Washington, D.C. that was rumored to have had like multiple fucking like child sex orgies and fucking like weird shit going down in the basement, and they had like this fucking room that was basically a giant shower room, and they're like, oh, this will make the cleanup afterwards easy, ha ha ha. And they had some like weird fucking pedophile like band play there and stuff. And then a dude who listened to Alex Jones shows up at Comet Pizza with an AR-15 demanding to go down to the dungeons, which it turns out like at least part of the story wasn't true or whatever, and there wasn't dungeons down below. And then like they arrested him and blamed Alex Jones for the whole thing.
And the guy that owns Comet Pizza, his Instagram was super creepy.
Yeah, like
he was also like the 17th most powerful man in Washington, D.C.
It's like something's going on there, but like whatever it was, they didn't get caught. So
yeah, wow, that stuff was going on. They probably cleared house by the time the dude got down there, they probably been clean that shit out because it was like a long time after like all the shit was going around and stuff. So they had plenty of time to clean that shit up down there.
Yeah, by the time everybody hears about it, I'm pretty sure they started moving.
With was it John Podesta? Like, was it his? I don't know, like one of the family members that owned it or friends?
I just think it's funny that a fucking dude who listens to Alex Jones showed up with an AR-15 demanding to see the fucking dungeons. Like, I know I'm not supposed to say this, but what a badass! Like, he didn't hurt anybody. He just showed up with a gun.
Where are they?
Jesus.
Thought he was doing God's work.
Yep.
All right, did you guys see fucking Joe Biden's like fucking his candle of death?
Damn.
Like Satan's fucking birthday cake over here? Jesus Christ, man.
It's 80 candles.
Yeah,
Is it only 80 now? It's like 103.
Usually you would have 2 candles and one of them would say 8 and the other would say 0. Most people don't literally put 80 candles on and then like smile like Satan over a fucking burning child. Like, what the fuck, dude?
I wanted to see. They had no video of him blowing out the candles if he can try.
No, he just waited till the fucking White House burned down. Like, there's no other way to put that shit out.
No, he was just excited because he was going to get pizza after that.
Oh.
Ooh.
I'm like,
Don't
it's
give me
number
the
80.
cheese
Now give me a
pizza.
question.
That was good. Jesse Smollett is a free man. Alec Baldwin is a free
What the
man.
fuck is
Hunter
that
Biden is a free man. Grandmother who took selfies in Capitol is in jail without bail. Because we live in a topsy-turvy world, baby. It's upside down.
Well, Alec Baldwin might not be a free man for long.
Yeah,
Is he getting charged? I thought he got exonerated.
From one court, they putting him back on trial again.
Yeah,
good.
they said it's looking like he's gonna go back on trial.
Yeah.
Well, he literally pulled the trigger out of a gun that killed somebody.
Yeah, because
So-
I guess a new video had came out, like a new video got released, and it was pretty damning. I haven't seen it, but
Which one are you talking about? Is it an old one or like when he was in the witness? You know, when they did the whole investigation on him, or something
I
different?
don't know. I think there was. I think it's something different. I think that's why they charged him again because
Yeah,
it
it
was
was-
some new evidence that came out that was just like I guess it's pretty damning.
Yeah, and
Which
he
is
knew
why they
like the
charged
gun was loaded or something like
Yeah.
that. It was talking about. Yeah.
Well, he would have got in trouble for more ways than one, not just him criminating himself when we saw that video during the match stream. The safety protocols and all the other shit that was going on because the studio was under his name and a whole bunch of shit. So it was a matter of time.
Well, there's that part of it, but like, I don't know, man. He said originally, "Oh, the gun was broken. It fired, and I didn't want it to." And then, like, they've, I believe, looked at the gun and disproven that. Like, there's no malfunction in the gun that would cause that, right? And now there's new evidence that shows like he knew the fucking gun was loaded.
Yeah, and working or something like that. Well, it would be loaded if it had blanks in it.
No,
So
he
it
knew,
was something.
he knew that it wasn't blanks in it.
Well, then that motherfucker
This is
is going to jail and he
basically-
deserves to go to jail.
Yeah,
Like,
this
if
is
you
like-
if you take a gun and you know that it's loaded and you point it at someone and pull the trigger, how is that not at least second-degree murder?
Just depends on how much money you got.
Well, the really interesting part about the whole case is the Helena woman that he killed was supposed to be doing a documentary exposing pedophiles, like right after that.
Ooh, back to this again. Why is it always the pedophiles? Damn it. This is supposed to be a gun chat.
Yeah.
That's the meme. Like, we're doing a
mean-
gun chat and it always goes back to pedophiles.
I mean, Alec Baldwin probably took one for the team for that one. He's like, fuck it. I have to take
If
her
it's
out.
mass chat, it always go back to penis. For some reason.
Yeah, yeah. Did you guys know?
Two P's.
Not one student at the LeBron James I Promise School's 8th grade class has passed a state math test in 3 years.
Yes.
I think Tim Pool was talking about this. Was it Tim? Yeah.
There's also younger classes too that can't pass shit, and the state of Ohio is getting real close to just taking the school at this point.
I don't know though. I mean, to say it hasn't happened in almost 3 years, there's a lot of kids that have fallen way behind since the whole cough stuff happened. And I'm not trying to make excuses or anything, but if you go back 3 years, that's right when that happened. So if they were doing fine before that, and that there could be some mitigating circumstances here.
Fair enough, but it's not like math tests. Passing a grade math test, I thought was like rudimentary. Honestly, like going through like the public school system, and they'd like you take your assessment test at the end of the year, and they're like, "Oh, you're reading at a 12th grade level, and you're doing math at a college level, and you're doing this at a 8th grade level, or whatever it is," right? Math, I was always like well beyond where I should be without even trying.
Yep.
But to be fair, like English, I was always like barely keeping up with where I should be. So, whatever.
Well, the thing about I Promise was it was since its founding, and that was more than 3 years ago. None of them have ever been able to pass anything from reading or writing or anything like that. Like they've been failing the entire time.
So why are they just reporting that it's just this past 3 years and only math? Would they just be saying that it's everything then?
Well, I think the point is not a single student has passed the math test.
Because that was
the
the first.
Years.
I think that was the first set of grades. The kids that were in 8th grade or whatever were the ones that were first starting there years ago.
And I don't know. I didn't read the article or whatever this is attached to, so I'm not sure.
I was just going off of Leftover's comment of they haven't passed a single thing. If that was the case, I'm pretty sure that article would have a much different headline than just last 3 years they couldn't pass a state exam for math.
Those are very important subjects. Can you freaking know math? Can you read? Can you write? Can't go anywhere without those.
Bro, I've had this happen 2 times recently, and I talked about this in a chat not too long ago, where I had like a 12-year-old or a 10-year-old, somewhere in there, 10 to 12-year-old kid, who literally couldn't read a menu to know what they want to eat, and they need to like be like, "What does this say? What does that say? I can't read." Like one kid was like, "I can't read, Mom," and she's like, "Oh yeah, you're right. Let me read it for you." Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Damn it, man! Don't you guys have picture menus?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what they wanted was like pictures so that they could point at something that looked good. Like Jesus Christ.
A few months ago, I was asked if I wanted a Braille menu. I was like, "Yeah, no, that's not going to help me."
Yeah, that's got to be difficult. Going from like you can see to like now you can't, and there's Braille, but I never learned how to read Braille.
Right?
Could like
it'd be like being able to hear and then
to learn too.
I've never tried, mainly because I haven't found anywhere that would like offer to teach me or anything. And likewise, I don't really know if I care to try to learn it. Because I was never that big of a reader in the first place. And from what I've learned, there's a shit ton of blind people that don't know how to read Braille. I actually heard a statistic. It's like less than 50%.
Well, here's the thing about today's technology probably allows you to fucking get by without having to read Braille.
Oh,
like
100%.
You can just have like Google fucking translate, read it out loud for you, and it doesn't matter. But like, how do you get it to do that if you can't see? I don't fucking know. Like,
well, so like now I'm actually reading a ton of books because I do the two-way book club on my channel every month, and so now just having ebooks and shit, it's like, oh, this is terrific, so I'm reading way more books now. But no, there's an app, I don't even remember what it is. I just learned about it about a month ago. But I can take a photo of something, and whatever's in the photo, it will just automatically read to me.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah, I was like, that's pretty fucking sweet.
So what you're telling me, Barbecue, you're blind just like Michiko?
Just like what?
Some gun tuber who's blind.
Oh, Michiko. Yeah. I've got a very, very, very small amount of vision left. I think Mashako is pretty much lights out. Like he just sees not even outlines. It's just like a giant blur if he has any light perception.
Dude, I was watching this thing that had a voice recording of Helen Keller. It's the only voice recording known of Helen Keller, who, if you guys remember, was born deaf, dumb, and blind, and was a big proponent for socialism. Turns out, born deaf, dumb, and blind, she spoke with an English accent.
How?
Exactly. Meaning she's a fucking fake, a fraud. The story was fake. Everything about it was fucking fake. And people didn't know what deaf people deaf people sound like when they try to talk back then. So she got away with speaking with an English accent because that's what they thought they would sound like.
Yeah, because
Or
you
did
definitely can't
somebody
hear.
just forge a recording?
I feel like
Possibly.
we talked about this before.
We have.
Maybe on okay.
And I couldn't find the video when we talked about it last time, but I swear to God, I fucking seen it.
I feel fucked up saying this, but I went to elementary school with a girl who was deaf from birth. So, like, when she made noises, you go, ah! You'd be like, what the fuck? And
Yeah,
you know, oh, hey.
Up.
You know, like, once you realize what was going on, you know, when you're a kid, then you get used to it. But, like, she couldn't speak words because she never fucking heard them.
It would be like if they were trying to sing Whitney Houston. And yes, that is a dude dressed as a woman.
That is so sadly accurate.
No, what I was wondering the whole time was that an actual woman in that clip or
No. That's a dude. That's a male to female transitioned deaf singer singing Whitney Houston in the Argentina's Got Talent fucking TV show. Yeah, that's what that was.
I was gonna say, Leo, you should know better.
right? That's
That's
not,
everywhere, man.
yeah. I was looking. I was like, what the fuck?
If you have to guess, you know exactly what it is.
At least he wouldn't be able to hear the booze.
Badoomsh.
I guess that's why they got a new president. Like, this is getting ridiculous.
Bro, look at these fucking Vietnam booby traps.
Oh yeah.
I've seen these videos.
Like, some of this shit's like, fuck that. Like, fuck this one. What do you do about that?
If
You
try
just
to
cut
pull
your leg
up,
off.
yeah.
This is one I would have in the backyard. Couple of those sitting around, you know, just in
I mean,
case.
those punji sticks, man, really, insult to injury.
You got a tripwire connected to a fucking bow and arrow. Shoots you through the chest. Here's a fucking wood plank with nails sticking out of the bottom that falls on top of your head.
Oof.
You got some vipers of some kind in a pit.
I
So you follow
was
the
just
pit.
thinking, you don't see a lot of Vietnam movies. A lot of soldiers falling into them traps and shit. I'm just thinking about it.
Yeah, there was. There was the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger where he fights the alien in the jungle. And he comes up with all these booby traps to... You remember that documentary?
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember it was supposed to be
I remember that.
Jean-Claude in there.
Check this out. I was fired today from Roanoke City Council services, serving as a damn good social worker. I was fired for having a concealed carry permit. Not the gun, the permit. I was escorted by 3 city police officers because I am, quote, a safety risk to the building. Can you imagine being fired because you have a concealed weapons license? Not even because they're like, hey, this is a gun-free zone. You can't carry your gun. We caught you with the gun. You're fired. That makes sense, right? Just having the permit.
Well, one, that's a good suing case, and two, I'm not surprised because I heard a lot of interesting things go down in those social services places.
Yep. That's a lawsuit. coming. Wrong for termination.
Well, you hear stories all the time of like these people abusing their power, like the social worker who comes in for like CHP to make sure that your kids have enough food and you're not beating them or whatever, and they'll come in and be like, "Oh, there's nothing in the refrigerator," and it's like a fucking like fucking wonderland of food in the fridge, and oh, and the kids look dirty, and it's like, well, yeah, because he was playing outside and he like skinned his knee. It's like, oh, and he was injured. Like, okay, and then like write everything that they can to fuck you over and like fuck with your life.
Yeah.
Like, fuck those fucking people, dude. But on occasion, there's a kid who needs to be taken out of a home, and I get that, right? Which is why we tolerate those people in the first place. But then the other part of it is always back to pedophilia, because I guess that's what we do on this chat. What happens to a lot of those kids? What happens to a lot of the kids who end up in the fucking like not welfare system. What is it called?
Foster care system.
Foster care system. Thank you.
And the same thing go for like the home inspectors or like the city inspectors sometimes, where they would put down like dog crap in the yard and stuff like that. And the thing is, like, well, yeah, that's what dogs do. Like, you don't wait for your dog to take a shit and then right, and then you just automatically see it and then scoop it up. Like, yeah, that's what dogs do, right? I think it was like John Stossel that had like talked about that. Like, they would always put down, like there's dog feces like in their complaint, and it turns out, like that's actually what dogs do, and you just can't be 100% with it all the time and like in picking it up. But they will put that down anyway.
My the place that I used to live at, one of the roommates who lived there for a long time had this fucking big fat golden retriever dog who he would just put out in the backyard and let him shit everywhere and then never clean it up, right? And he'd lived there for a couple of years, and the fucking like the lawn would just take over the shit eventually. If you like leave it there for long enough, the grass grows over it, and now there's not shit anymore. And like everyone complained who lived there, like, dude, the fucking you can't even walk through the backyard. Like, you got to clean this shit up. So he paid someone, like some service, to come and fucking like clean up all the dog shit, and then you could walk through the backyard again. But the thing was, as you're walking through the backyard, you can still feel the shit underneath the fucking underneath the grass where it was. Like, you never got rid of it. It was gross.
Right, yeah. If you leave it there, like, the difference between somebody not picking up their dog shit versus, a dog just shitted and there's some dog shit in the yard.
Yeah.
But if a city inspector see like 2 or 3 pieces of dog shit, okay, you're written up for that.
All right, so check this out. And I wonder, because I did fly to Washington, D.C. on January like 18th, 19th, 20th. I was there, right? Or it was like 19th, 20th, 21st. I forget exactly. But I was there in January 2021. And then this.
How many air marshals are on planes right now? And
can you hear this?
how many do you think
Yes.
there should be to get to a safe level?
Well, Carly, we're not flying right now. The only missions that we're doing are Quiet Skies missions, and those are missions that are following the January 2021 people. So we're either on the border for illegal immigrants, or we're following folks from January 2021. We're not doing our regular missions where we're out there looking for the bad guys. So right now on most flights, you're not going to have air marshals.
What do you mean by that? You're following January 2021 people. What does that mean?
That means our primary mission is a little group called Quiet Skies. It's a mission called Quiet Skies that we're following people that flew into the National Capital Region in January 2021. You did not have to go to the Capitol or the rally, and you've been put on a specific list that TSA now has assigned air marshals to follow these people who have not had any type of criminal investigation. They haven't committed a crime, but yet 3 years later, we're following the same individuals day in and day out.
So you're saying that air marshals are now following people that were at the Capitol on January 6th, and they're not tracking terrorists at all.
Well, they didn't even have to be at the Capitol, Carly. They could have just flown into the National Capital Region. So if anybody was there for a job interview, to visit family, we even had a gentleman that was there for a funeral. They put on this domestic terrorist list just because of their geographic location to Washington, D.C. So these people did not even commit a crime. They weren't even at the Capitol.
What? Do those people know that they're on this list?
Some of them do, because when they go to the airport, they get the quad S's on their boarding pass, and then they have to go through enhanced security. Then they're followed by teams of air marshals on any leg of flight that they have. So yes, a lot of them do know that they're being followed. Yeah.
Bro, I gotta fucking take a flight somewhere because I don't think. No, I did take one flight since then. I have been on an airplane since I've been to Washington, D.C. one time. And I didn't notice any enhanced anything. But maybe you wouldn't notice. I don't know.
I mean, you probably should have been okay, because wouldn't they have to like stop you for like, you bought like any gun recently, like anything that seemed like suspicious?
Bro, okay, check this out though. The backpack that I brought with me to carry all my stuff when I went to DC was also a backpack that I'd taken with me to the mountains to go shooting before. And it was like an old backpack, like an old climbing pack that holds a lot of shit, right? And there was a 7.62 by 54R bullet that had pushed its way into like between two flaps of fabric inside of the backpack. And like you empty out the backpack, there's nothing in it, right? And then I go through fucking TSA and they scan my backpack and they like pull me aside. This was when I was on my way to DC, dude. They pulled me aside and they're like, "Oh, we got to fucking search you more. Oh, what's going on here?" And it turns out that like there was a bullet in the backpack. And they're like, "Oh God, we got to get it out of there." And they had to like literally like take a knife and cut some fucking material to even get it out. And like, I was like, bro, like I did not know it was here. They're like, "Yeah, I know." And they let me go and whatever. But dude, I'm probably on a list. You're probably right.
Well, I mean, probably have to be purchasing any guns recently.
Yeah, I don't think those lists are connected, right? Are they? I don't know if they are.
Well, it's a domestic terror list.
Yeah, but it's a specific domestic terror list. It's not just like the domestic terror. It's like, oh, you're on the, what did she call it? The
who have not had any type of criminal investigation. They haven't.
I forgot what she called it. There was some specific program that these people, these insurrectionists who were there to overthrow the Capitol. Like, fuck this shit, bro. I'm so tired of these fucking bullshit arguments that people like honestly, if these are your arguments, they're not your arguments. You're just repeating something you heard. That's all that is. Daniel says, white vehicle y'all think I should get. What vehicle do you think I should get next? I'm thinking either Tesla or Denali.
White Bronco.
Yeah, we got the echo going.
I don't know nothing about the Denali.
You got Jaguars, Mini Cooper. Fuck that shit. Why are they showing me all the English bullshit? Nissan. Fuck that.
GMC Denali.
Is the only person not echoing is Honda?
Oh,
yeah, it's that setting thing.
Never. It should be fine now. Sorry.
Okay.
I forgot to take that thing
We're
off.
good.
All right.
All right.
Okay, so my buddy had, believe it or not, it was a Buick. You should test drive this thing. I can't remember what the name of it is. I'm looking it up right now. Sorry, hold on. Vehicle type, SUVs. Don't they have a big ass SUV? Was it the Enclave? This isn't it. No. They don't even have it anymore. Maybe it was Oldsmobile? I forget.
We talking about right like an old classic one?
No, I can't remember the fucking what kind of car he has, but it was badass because it was a electric hybrid, so it has like the regular gas motor that makes however much horsepower normal cars make, but it also has like 2-wheel drive electric. So it's like 4-wheel drive. The front wheels are fucking gas, the back wheels are electric. And if you charge it, you can drive like 60 miles before you have to like even use the gas at all. So as long as you're fucking going like back and forth to work or whatever, you never even have to burn gas. But then if you want to, you can use the electric and the gas motor at the same time and have double the horsepower. And that thing made like 500 fucking horsepower. It's ridiculous. So
That's
fast.
interesting.
I can't remember the name of it. God damn it. Doesn't matter. I guess.
I want a Corvette, and I heard they're making like a hybrid one, but I don't know if that's gonna be any good.
Yeah, I think the hybrid one's going to be expensive as shit too.
Yeah, and it's coming around that time that they supposed to be doing some kill switches on cars.
And it's going to be heavier. They said that the hybrid one's going to be more like a cruise vehicle, but not sport.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Ugh.
that's what I'm hearing.
I'm just saying, look into the ones that have hybrid that you can use like the gas and the electric at the same time and be twice as bad for the environment. That's the way to go.
Not cruise. What's it called? A touring. I think that's what they call it, like a touring vehicle. Like that's what that one's supposed to be. Get the Hummer EV. See, what's the starting price on a Hummer EV?
This shit's not even fucking real. Never mind.
96,000.
This is all fucking AI generated images of what they think it should look like. Fuck that shit. Here's World War I, World War II, and World War III. The weapons that have been used.
I mean, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We got to watch this one now, too. Sorry. You guys ready for this?
Oh yeah, this one's interesting.
Plan is simple. We break into the Capitol building, we infiltrate the government, and we kidnap the Speaker of the House. Everyone down on the ground, FBI! You're on the ground! It's over. Oh, it's over, all right. It's over. For all of you FBI scum, we're the true patriots, standing up for liberty and stuff. Wait just 1 minute. Steve Crenshaw. You got me. We got everyone here. We're all FBI agents if that hasn't been obvious. All right. FBI. I don't know how you sleep at night. Traitors. What do you know? We were all FBI agents the whole time.
Yep, that's what it's like.
Yep. Spot on. That is spot on.
That was too funny.
Daniel says, only reason I'm thinking Tesla is to support Elon, so he deserves every penny. Dude, get a fucking Cybertruck. When are they going to start selling those?
They should have been started selling those. I think I knew somebody who had one. I'm at a gun store.
Order now. Due today.
I mean, they are at least destructible.
So you gotta pay $100 to get on the list to get a fucking Cybertruck. But oh man, that would be a cool vehicle. I gotta admit, this would be a fucking cool vehicle.
That shit ugly as fuck though.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna get it, mind you, I'm gonna be playing that Halo music.
Oh.
Yeah, we already know.
Oh.
How much do they cost?
If I remember correctly, I know they got some that are like 80,000, 90,000. I think there's like different packages too. And one of them's like you can get like a generator, like I don't know if it's a solar generator, you know, that powers and stuff up and all that. You go outside camping. If I'm right, I'm not sure.
Single motor, only 40,000. That's
Dude,
insane.
this is way less than I thought.
Yeah, it's better to because I think there's 3 different packages, and it's just better to go with not the first package. You spend a little bit more money.
So like the most expensive one's 70.
Yeah.
Like I thought that would be like the base package, like the bitch package would be 70. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
No, yeah, because the guy
That's what
I
I was
talked to
thinking.
at the gun store, he said he got one and he loved it. Except I think he went for like the second package, especially when he got that generator and stuff he was talking about.
Why do you not like Elon Musk, Ginger? You ginger ninja? Elon said they got 5 million pre-orders for Cybertrucks and are starting next year. They'll make 200,000 a year, so good luck. So there's 5 million pre-orders, and then they're going to make 200,000 a year. So that's going to take them 10 fucking years at that rate just to get through the pre-orders. That's crazy. Well, maybe never mind. You're probably going to have to buy one. Like, if you want one, you're going to have to buy one secondhand for more money than... Like, if that's the case, if there's 5 million pre-orders and people actually... 5 million fucking people actually fucking are going to buy one, then yeah, like, as soon as you buy one, you could sell it for fucking way more money than you bought it for, I bet.
Well, that's the funny thing with cars, and most of the time it loses its value, so he might get off a deal secondhand. Especially since he's pumping out a lot of them.
No. If you bought one, especially if you buy like a $70,000 variant, you better sell that for double. Because there's not enough.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's a supply and demand thing. It's not like, it's because these parts are worth this. No, there's fucking 5 goddamn million people who want one of these, and I have one. So if you're not going to pay me a fuck ton of money,
no.
Have fun waiting.
There will be at the start, but as long as the time keeps passing by, it's going to start definitely losing its value.
Yeah, it's going to start going down.
Okay, so this happened when the Nintendo Wii was brand new. And what I would do is every day on my lunch break, I would run over to Walmart because it was right next door, and I would see if they have any Wiis for sale. And if they did, I would buy them. And then I would go on Craigslist and I would sell them for like $200 more than I bought them for. Because no one could buy them. And Walmart was right. I made like fucking $2,000 selling Wiis, bro.
Oh yeah, but there's a bunch of people that I thought had gotten into that business, but yeah, you got to do that quick though. You can't take too long. That happened with people who did graphics cards too, until I think when the companies fucked those, a lot of the scalpers who kept the ones only getting them, not regular people, and they end up getting those expensive ass cards without not getting the money that they worth to sell them, so they end up losing money.
And Honda, you said they're only going to make 200,000 a year.
Well, that's what Daniel said. Yeah.
At that rate, it would take 25 years to fill 5 million orders.
And we don't even know if they're making more factories or not.
Yeah, you're right. That would take a long time.
Yeah, that would take forever.
Yeah, and that's not including the people who's like, I put down $100, and they might like cancel it, like, it's taking too long.
Yeah, because it would take 10 years at 500,000 a year. You're right. Here, check this dude out.
Oh yeah, that's all.
He's got a Glock connected to his eyepiece, so when he flies around, he can use his heads-up display to fire his full-auto Glock.
Oh boy. Dear Santa.
I think a shotgun would work pretty well against that. Nice spread.
Oh,
nice spread.
It's like shooting ducks. If ducks fly around, this dude's flying around. When the reporter who debunked Pizzagate pleads guilty to child porn.
Open your eyes.
And back to pedophiles as we go.
Is that the Dos Equis guy in the background?
No,
That's from
the
the
most
movie.
interesting
That's the
man
dude
in
from
the
the movie.
world.
Yeah, that's from Birdcage or whatever it's called.
Bird
Sandra
Box.
Bullock. Bird Box. There you go.
What's up, you soulless bastard?
No, not much. I feel like dog shit.
Are you dying
That
right now?
gingerbread
Are
man.
you all right?
I don't know if it's just my allergies or if I got the fucking vid again.
But you hate Elon Musk. You know that.
Yes, because he's a piece of shit.
Why do you say that?
Well, he's a fucking tool. He's arrogant, manipulative, lying. I mean, he has literally put fucking algorithms and shit inside of his piece of shit cars that cost way too much that barely fucking work. That if the grid is having problems, that your shit won't charge even if the power's on. So, I mean that's pretty fucking shitty. Not to mention his fake bullshit with him going down to Eagle Pass to the border and placating with the whole fucking invasion that we're having at our southern borders. I just can't stand the motherfucker. He's fake. He's just.
I disagree. And here's why. Well, let me give an example of why. There was the Ukrainian military who was using Elon Musk internet to coordinate with each other and fire weapons and kill people and conduct war. And he shut them down. And I'm like, fuck yeah. And like he took so much heat from that from the government, and like people in the government were like, he's seditious against the United States government because he was blah 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 blah. It's like, no, man, I just don't want my technology being used to kill people.
Okay, I see that, and that's a fair point, but he's just like what we describe the fucking Democrats and the Republicans. In plain view, he's one thing, but behind closed doors, he shakes the fucking hands with these fucking communist, terrorist, piece of shit bastards that just want to destroy this country or this world. So he's no better, no different.
I always saw it as this. He's a good example of a definitely flawed human being because he definitely has a lot of flaws. I think he's one of them people by slowly learning certain things that gradually that's changing him. I mean, he's done some stuff that I was not cool with, or even with the whole, he was embedded with the whole Johnny Depp thing, helping out Amber Heard. But if you know their history, that's all interesting.
Dude, there was the thing where they were like, hey, if we had just $5 billion, we could solve world hunger forever, right? And then Elon was like, okay, show me the plan of how you're going to spend that $5 billion and how that's actually going to stop world hunger, and I will write the check. And they were like,
Yeah.
like he called their fucking bluff, dude. He bought fucking Twitter because he saw what was happening when like the end of free speech and everything, and was like, all right, let's like release as much of this information as we can and make it fucking free again.
Yeah,
like as free as we can get it.
Oh yeah, no, he's a good example of an oddball. That's all I could say about that.
He's like, oh, the world is getting poisoned by fucking carbon dioxide and fucking like vehicles burning fuel. So let me start a fucking company to make it so that like people have an option to buy something else. Oh, like, hey, the world's going to shit, so I'm gonna fucking start a space program so that we can go to Mars. Like, I fucking love the motherfucker, bro. And yeah, he did go to Eagle Pass, and I thought he shined a light on it for a bunch of people who probably hadn't seen it before. You can call that placating or whatever, but I don't think that's what he was doing.
Yeah, I think that's what he was doing. He's just trying to bolster himself, make himself look like he's better than what he is, and like he's really fucking doing something when he's not. But that's just my opinion.
I don't know. I just gave like 7 examples of how he's like badass, but whatever.
I just don't trust him. I mean, he's, in my opinion, no different than any other rich elites. I mean, he may have done a few things that people like, but I don't trust him. I think he's A devil in disguise.
Yeah, I think he a devil in disguise too. He got all that mark of the beast technology shit.
Alex Jones said he was the Antichrist.
Yeah, I think he the Antichrist too, for real. I'm like serious. He is.
I mean, if he is, I think he's more on the lower of the totem pole compared to others. But yeah.
I don't
No,
necessarily
because
think he's
that's
the
the whole point.
Antichrist.
That's the whole point. He's like he's supposed to be somebody. The Antichrist is somebody that like everyone likes, and then he be like, and then in front of the world, he does all this great stuff and all these great
Well,
things.
see, that's the problem, though. I know,
That's how he
I know,
tricks you.
even the average normie, even the average leftist type, don't even like his ass.
Yeah, it's just
They
something
fucking
off about him.
hated him.
Well, no, the reason the lefty fucking normie people don't like him is because they're sheep, and they have been told that he's a bad guy. Like if you look up Elon Musk on what is it on Wikipedia? In fact, let's do it. Wikipedia, Elon Musk. Wikipedia. Not Wikidata. Wikipedophile. Okay, I'm not seeing it. The other day when I was looking at it, it started off by saying Elon Musk is a right-wing conspiracy theorist, businessman, and investor. Like that's how it started. Apparently they changed that. They fixed that. That was just the other day. Hold on. Yeah, here you go. Elon Reeves Musk is a businessman, investor, and conspiracy theorist. It's like anybody who fucking has that label like put on them because of what they've stood up to against the powers that should not be. Like maybe there's some nefarious thing hidden deep down and you got to fucking dig through 8 layers of the onion to get to the worm that's down there that's fucking rotten to the core or whatever. I haven't seen it. And until if I do, I'll change my mind. But until I do, I'm not going to change my fucking mind. Like you're going to have to do better than, oh, he's pretentious and he lied about something and some regulations that the government put on his vehicles made it so that they couldn't charge during a fucking power shortage. Like, okay,
the government
cool.
did put that there. He put that there.
Okay, cool. Like, doesn't change my opinion of him. Elon is my favorite African American. Me too. Hashtag change my mind.
You dumbass. It's funny though. Oh shit. That's great.
So we've got Feds push for FISA Section 702 wiretapping reauthorization amid heightened potential for violence. What heightened potential for violence, you may ask? Well, that would have to do with the January 6th things that are going on and how there's all of this white rage that's going around in the United States and how we have to stop all of these people who think that they're being replaced in this country and that I don't know how they're like letting illegal people vote in places like New York and Vermont and Connecticut where like 200,000 fucking illegal people will be able to vote as of January 1st. But don't worry. It's not like they're trying to like bring in people and replace you and let them vote their Democrat bullshit in spite of what the citizens of this country want. Better FISA wiretap all of the people so that we can stop these white right-wing supremacists from doing their unending acts of violence against the United States government, which include but are not limited to, but is limited to January 6th. In fact, if you want to go back to find the last like actual fucking, you have to like look at the Unabomber, the fucking like Ted Kaczynski, like what's that other dude's name? The Oklahoma City bombing guy. There you go. But that was just retaliation for what the ATF did, right? That was because of Waco. Round and round we go. Anyway. Well, hey, guys, we've been going an hour and a half, which is about how long we normally go for the 2A Taco Tuesday with E-Honda and friends. Do you have any more subjects you guys want to go into before we end it? Anything else?
Today is the second anniversary of the Waukesha Parade Massacre.
That's today, huh?
Yes.
I didn't realize that was
Where
today
that?
when an SUV ran over a bunch of children and old women at a fucking Christmas holiday fucking parade.
Yeah. That SUV.
Yep, it was the SUV that did it, and certainly no one had any control over it. And if they did, they certainly weren't racially motivated by, the Kyle Rittenhouse acquittal. That had nothing to do with anything, I'm sure. Daniel says, read what I put in the chat, biatch. If Chunk Yogurt's cases go to the Supreme Court, can they decide non-citizens can be president, or do you think your Techno King will run? I think that if Chunk Yogurt's case makes it to the Supreme Court, they're going to slap it down. Because it clearly says to be president that you need to be a born citizen, right? Like, what does the actual text of the thing say? Natural born citizen, I think, is the wording. So unless you're a natural born citizen of the United States, and you could make an argument like the founding fathers weren't natural born citizens, like George Washington, where was he born? I'm pretty sure he was born in fucking America, actually, but whatever. Like, there were presidents, presumably, early on who were not necessarily born here. Is that true? I don't know. Does anyone know? Ohio, you know all the weird things.
I'm not 100%
I know.
sure.
I know he wasn't president, but John McCain was born in Guam, but that's still considered a
U.S. territory.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what, I'm pretty sure Native Americans back then would have been like, hell yeah, you got to be a natural born citizen.
Daniel says, issue is there has been 7 non-naturalized presidents. Okay, when was the last one, though? Like, if it was, 28 years after the fucking founding of the country, it would make sense, because you have to be 35, right? So that's one of the things. And if the country's only been a country for less than 35 years, then maybe, I don't know. Chunk Yogurt should never be president, though. I know that. He's a fucking Holocaust denier. Not literally, but when it comes to the Armenian Holocaust, the Armenian genocide denier. That's what he is. Sorry, I said Holocaust. I meant genocide.
Well, him as president for 4 years would be quite fun if we lived in a different time.
I mean, did you see the clip of him where he's like, if I was president and king and had the power to do whatever I want, the first thing I would do is make it legal to pleasure animals, because the animals like it, so it should be legal to do it. He literally said that.
Let's see how that goes.
Yeah. I mean, whether he does that or not, I don't know.
I mean, of
Anyway,
course he
guys.
does it. Other way you wouldn't talk about it.
No one even pressured him to say that. It was just like the thing that popped in his head. Anyway, guys, we'll see you next time. We're going to go ahead and end it here. Peace out, y'all. Deuces, y'all. Shall not pee in fridge. All the things. Go, the thing. Truba Shaba Anamata pressure. Batakath care. Prect the troops.
Anus.
All the things.
Anus.
Y'all have a good night.
Bleeding vagina.
Adios,